So here's what came out of today's hearing. Number one, the government acknowledged that they offered Combs a plea deal. Combs acknowledged he has no interest in taking that. They're going to move forward with the trial. They also talked about the jury selection process, which one legal expert I spoke to said is probably the most important thing that you want to pay close attention to before the actual trial starts. And thirdly, we learned that Combs will be adding 2 new attorneys to his defense team. And just to recap, Combs, who is 55 years old, could spend the rest of his life behind bars if convicted on sex trafficking and racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Diddy just got hit with a plea deal. And guess what? They want him to snitch on Jay-Z. Word is Jay-Z's sweating bullets right now, afraid he'll be dragged into court to testify. As this whole thing unravels, one thing's for sure. Diddy wasn't pulling the strings alone. There's talk that someone even more powerful was calling the shots from behind the scenes. Now here's the twist. Jay-Z is allegedly ready to flip on Diddy just to protect his billion-dollar brand. And if he goes down, Beyoncé might be caught in the mess, too.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted. The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to sexually exploit both women and men for decades.
The exact terms of the plea deal haven't been leaked yet, but insiders are saying Diddy was expected to admit to crimes that connect directly to Jay-Z. Some reports even claim Jay-Z was the one who told Diddy to turn down the deal. The feds wanted names: Diddy's crew, business partners, maybe even celebrities. But Diddy stood his ground. He doesn't want to be labeled a rat. He knows what happens to snitches behind bars.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges that accused him of coercing alleged victims into prolonged, drug-fueled sexual activity that he called freak-offs and threatening them into silence.
This ain't even the first time these two have been in deep trouble. They've been hit with serious accusations before. People have said they used threats to silence victims and keep their secrets buried. Let's not forget, Jay-Z pled guilty to third-degree assault for stabbing music exec Lance Rivera in December 1999.
A top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z.
That same year, Diddy was tied to a nightclub shooting. These aren't just rumors. They've both got real criminal history. And now it looks like it's all catching up with them. Jay-Z's being called out as violent and dangerous, and this time the spotlight's too hot to dodge. A few months back, both he and Diddy were slapped with a serious lawsuit. But things got shady real quick. The woman behind the case, she suddenly dropped it after claiming Jay-Z threatened her. And right after Jay-Z put out a public statement denying it all, Diddy somehow got released from jail, claiming it was for a medical emergency. But here's where it gets wild. While at the hospital, Diddy made a few mysterious phone calls. And like magic, the whole case disappeared just a week later. Now fast forward to just weeks before trial, and Jay-Z and Beyoncé are both being dragged into a whole new lawsuit tied to Diddy.
And a new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous.
This new civil case, filed in Florida on April 1st, comes from a man named Joseph Zarro. He says he was drugged, taken somewhere against his will, and assaulted as part of a sick, organized ring led by Diddy and his crew. Even more disturbing, this victim claims that back in 2015, both Jay-Z and Beyoncé were allegedly at some freaky secret party where the crime happened. These accusations keep coming, and Jay-Z's name keeps popping up again and again. Jay-Z, of course, has denied everything. But at this point, people are starting to question what's really going on behind closed doors.
That's where a new accuser claims he was sexually assaulted and humiliated by Diddy. And he says Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Gloria all witnessed his abuse but allegedly did nothing.
Yeah, let's skip over that.
Okay. I don't like it at all.
Gloria and Emilio denying the claims, telling ET there were no parties thrown at that property between 2012 and 2019. The couple says they have documents to back their denial and will provide them in court if necessary.
According to Gene Deal, Jay-Z is just as ruthless as Diddy. He's just better at hiding it. Gene said, Jay-Z is quiet, keeps his hands clean. Diddy? He's the loud one, always confessing on TV like it's no big deal. The only way Jay-Z would ever rat out Diddy is if the feds already got dirt on him, maybe even caught on tape.
As for Jay-Z, his rep tells ET he wasn't in Florida at that time to witness this incident. He was engaged in easily findable public activities that prove he was not at this event, adding, this is more nonsense that erodes the trust in our justice system.
A lot of times people say things because they don't want to get themselves in a PR disaster. They can't be, write a check.
People who've actually worked with Jay-Z are starting to speak out, and what they're saying is wild. On Piers Morgan Uncensored, Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z's former backup singer, dropped bombshells, calling both Jay-Z and Diddy straight-up monsters. She even claimed there are victims lined up, ready to take the stand against both Jay-Z and Beyonce. And here's the creepy part. Folks who go up against Jay-Z, they have a strange way of vanishing from the spotlight. Just poof, gone. Meanwhile, Diddy and Jay-Z were allegedly keeping in close contact while Diddy was locked up. In fact, Diddy even called his own son from behind bars and told him to hit up Jay-Z.
Diddy always been the type of individual that wanted to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. He did the stuff to Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. Until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. Hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young.
Some leaked audio from the Metropolitan Detention Center exposed Diddy using other inmates' info to call secret numbers. Talk about shady moves. But Jay-Z wasn't Diddy's only connection. Diddy was also allegedly tied to big names in politics. He paid people off to stay quiet, and that included his link to New York Mayor Eric Adams. Just weeks before Diddy got arrested, Adams gave him the key to the city. And then, Adams himself got taken down in a corruption scandal. That's when the feds made their move on Diddy.
The people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact, they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key.
And don't be fooled by the love story. Jay-Z and Beyonce aren't just a couple. They're a full-on business deal. Sources say they knew exactly what they were doing when they teamed up with Diddy. It wasn't about friendship, it was strategy. Those infamous freak-off parties, Jay-Z and Beyonce weren't just guests. They were allegedly running the whole thing. Their billion-dollar empire didn't just come from talent. It came from knowing the right people and playing the game at the highest level. Things are heating up even more. And now insiders are saying the feds are closing in on Jay-Z and Beyonce's inner circle.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, those fucking trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
This guy. Wow. You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
Investigators are reportedly digging deep into financial records, flight logs, private security footage, and even encrypted messages tied to their business empire. And guess what? A few major names in the industry have already flipped and are working with authorities. Insiders claim that former Roc Nation employees were quietly subpoenaed months ago. And now some of them are spilling everything. There's talk that hush money was sent out to keep people quiet about what really went down at those exclusive industry parties. These weren't just parties. They were private events with no phones allowed, NDAs signed at the door, and security trained to erase any evidence. One source says there were cameras in the walls, secret recordings, and people were brought in under false pretenses. If that's true, there could be a mountain of evidence just waiting to explode. And it's not just business partners being questioned. Celebrities who once rubbed shoulders with Jay-Z and Beyonce are now distancing themselves.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce, right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming.
Some A-listers are deleting old photos, scrubbing their social media, and pretending like they were never involved. That's how you know people are scared. Even more shocking, rumors are swirling that Beyonce's team has been meeting with top-tier crisis managers behind closed doors. They're preparing for fallout, just in case the full truth comes out. Jay-Z, on the other hand, is said to be lawyering up hard, bringing in the best legal minds money can buy. It's no longer just about Diddy. This scandal is expanding fast, and Jay-Z and Beyonce might be next on the chopping block. Now here's where things really get messy. Because the deeper you dig, the more it looks like Jay-Z and Beyonce built their empire on fear, silence, and loyalty bought with big checks. People close to them say the power couple ran their brand like a private operation. Only the trusted few got inside. And if you crossed the line, you were done for.
Sean Diddy Combs' legal team is getting a little smaller. As the rap mogul's defense team prepares for his May trial on sex trafficking charges, his attorney, Anthony Rico, respectfully but regrettably requested to be dismissed from his role, according to documents obtained by NBC News. Rico, who is one of 6 attorneys on the case, requested in the February 21st filing to withdraw as representation because, quote, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, consistent with the ABA standards for criminal justice.
One insider spilled that Jay-Z kept a blacklist of people he cut off completely. Industry folks, former friends, even bodyguards, just for knowing too much or asking the wrong questions. And when someone got too loud, legal threats came flying in, fast. Meanwhile, Beyonce isn't staying silent anymore. Her reps have reportedly been making phone calls to media outlets, trying to keep certain headlines from spreading. Some journalists even say they were warned not to dig too deep, or else they'd lose access to the entire Rock Nation circle. People who used to worship the couple are now switching sides. Former employees are anonymously leaking details. Everything from sketchy wire transfers to coded emails about private events that weren't on any public schedule. And let's not forget, there's still a sealed court document that people are dying to get unsealed.
The motion continues, quote, while I'm aware that the local rule requires that an application for withdrawal of counsel is supported and granted only upon a showing by affidavit or otherwise of satisfactory reasons for withdrawal, there are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by the attorney-client privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal as counsel in this case.
Insiders say it names multiple celebrities, including a high-profile married couple from New York. And everyone's connecting the dots. Right now, Jay-Z and Beyonce are trying to act like it's business as usual, but behind the scenes, it's chaos. Staff are being shuffled, deals are being paused, and lawyers are on speed dial. This isn't just some tabloid rumor anymore. It's a full-blown investigation, and the silence from the Carters is only making it louder. Jay-Z's finally cut ties with Diddy, and he's not the only one jumping ship. Diddy's own lawyers, including the law firm that had his back for over 20 years, have officially dropped him.
So the high-powered law firm of Grubman, Shire, Masalis, and Sachs has dropped Combs as a client. Now, this is the firm of Alan Grubman, who is a very prominent entertainment lawyer that represents some very big names. The Weeknd, Madonna, Chris Brown, Paul Simon, Usher, Bruce Springsteen. In fact, by the way, Alan Grubman was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He actually helped found that back in the 1980s.
That's right. After decades of loyalty, even they walked away. And guess who's pulling the strings behind the scenes? Jay-Z. Once he turns on you, it's game over. Attorney Anthony Rico didn't even bother explaining why he bailed. In his official letter, he just said the real reason couldn't be revealed due to attorney-client privilege. That's lawyer talk for, I saw something crazy, and I'm not going down with this man. What kind of dirt did he see that made him run?
Gives you an idea about how big of a powerhouse this firm is. Now let's go back to Sean Combs. So the rumor circulating is that this firm did this because singer and actress Lady Gaga had threatened to leave the firm unless they parted ways with Combs. This is according to reporting by News Nation. And it's a big deal because the rapper and producer had apparently been with Grubman's firm for over 20 years. He was friends with Alan Grubman by all accounts.
Diddy's still trying to claw his way out. He's begging the court to throw out the evidence from the massive raid on his mansion. His legal team claims the search warrants were shady and illegal. They want the trial pushed back and the whole case tossed. But let's be real. Too many secrets are spilling out already. Diddy thought he could outsmart the system, but now he's locked up with no moves left, unless he snitches. And with Jay-Z out here playing chess, not checkers, Diddy's realizing too late that the game's been rigged from the start. Jay-Z kept his mouth shut for years. But when it comes to survival, even the tightest bonds break fast. If those tapes are real, and insiders swear they are, then no amount of money or power can save him. The whispers are turning into roars, and the empire they built on fear is crumbling. This ain't the beginning, this is the end. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth. We'll see you in the next one. It's only getting darker from here.